How do you beat the biggest part of the SAT math test? I mean, you're staring it down, wondering where you should even start to get the biggest bang for your buck score-wise. Well, what if I told you the secret is mastering just one core area?
And that's exactly what we're doing in this explainer. We're going to build your personal playbook for totally cracking SAT algebra. And look, this isn't just about solving for X. No, this is about outsmarting the test itself.
And here's why it's so important. Just look at this chart. Algebra makes up about 35% of the math content. That is, by far, the single biggest piece of the pie. I mean, think about it. If you can master this one area, you are seriously on your way to a great score.
So what's our goal? It's simple, really. We need accuracy and we need speed. Because let's be real, the SAT is a race against the clock, right? Fumbling around with algebra wastes precious time. So let's get into the playbook. We're going to turn you into an efficient, methodical, problem-solving machine.
But here's some really good news. You're not going into this empty-handed, not at all. The SAT actually gives you some super powerful tools right from the start. The trick, though, is you've got to know they're there, and more importantly, you've got to know how to use them.
Okay, check this out. First off, you've got a calculator available for every single math question. Plus, they hand you a formula reference sheet. So here's the secret weapon. Actually use these things. Seriously, don't try to be a hero and do it all in your head. These tools are part of the game. Using them like a pro is a skill all on its own.
All right, let's talk about something that trips up so many people. The dreaded word problem. You know the ones. They feel more like a reading test than a math test. But really, they're just math problems wearing a clever disguise. So our first play from the playbook, we're going to become expert translators.
The approach is super simple. Just 2 steps. Step 1, RTFQ. And yeah, that means read the final question first. Seriously. Don't get bogged down in the story. Jump straight to the end and figure out exactly what they want. Are they asking for dollars, ounces, whatever it is, know your target. Then, step 2, work in bite-sized pieces. Just translate the problem one little bit at a time. Don't try to swallow the whole thing at once.
And this is basically your secret decoder ring. All those fuzzy English words, they have direct, simple math translations. You see the word is or costs. Boom, that's an equal sign. You see of, that just means multiply. Percent is just divide by 100. And what is your variable? Your n or x. All of a sudden, a really complicated sounding sentence turns into a simple equation you can actually solve.
Okay, now for the really fun part, my favorite part. What if I told you the absolute best way to crush SAT algebra is to, well, avoid doing algebra whenever you possibly can? I'm not kidding. This is the core of our whole strategy, using shortcuts to outsmart the test and turn those nasty problems into simple arithmetic.
Just think about it for a second. The test writers, they expect you to use complex algebra. They build these long, complicated problems designed to be solved that way. But guess what? We're not going to play their game. We're just going to use simple arithmetic instead. We're going to sidestep their trap completely and get to the right answer way faster with way less chance of making a silly mistake.
All right, here are your 2 secret weapons, your knockout punches, PITA and PION. First up, PITA. That's for plugging in the answers. You use this one when the answer choices themselves are just numbers. All you do is pick an answer, I usually start with B or C, and plug it back into the problem to see if it works. If it does, you're done. Move on. Then there's PION. Plug in your own numbers. This is your go-to when the question and the answers are full of variables. Just pick your own easy numbers, like 2 or 3, solve the problem, and see which answer choice gives you the same result. Both of these strategies do the same magic trick. They turn scary algebra into simple arithmetic that your calculator can handle in a heartbeat.
Now, these shortcuts are amazing. They really are. But you do have to know some of the fundamentals. And look, if you're going to focus on mastering just one thing, please make it linear equations. They are the absolute bread and butter of SAT algebra.
So what does that actually look like on the test? Well, we're really just talking about 2 key things here. First, your basic linear equations and functions. Equations without any exponents. The classic y is equal to mx plus b stuff. Just think straight lines, no crazy curves or anything. And second, you're going to see systems of linear equations. That's when they give you 2 or more equations at once and you have to solve them together.
And for those systems of equations, here is a massive pro tip. Your math teacher probably taught you to use substitution. And yeah, that works, but it can be kind of slow and messy. There's a much faster way.
Just stack the equations on top of each other, then add or subtract them. The goal is to make one of the variables just disappear. It's so much cleaner, it's faster, and you're way less likely to make a mistake.
So let's wrap this up. The key takeaway here is that you don't have to be some kind of math genius to crush the SAT. Not at all. It's all about having a smart, efficient playbook. It's about knowing how to turn English into math, knowing when to use those awesome shortcuts like PITA and PIO, and having a solid grip on the basics, like linear equations. That is your key to maximizing your score.
So there you have it. That's the playbook. You now have the strategies to turn what might seem like the hardest part of the test into your biggest strength. So the only question left is, ready to put these plays into practice?